back to We Like What We Like, the podcast. I'm Brandon Bennett.
I'm Greg Fountain.
And this week, we're going to be talking about video game collecting. But before we get to that, how's it going this week?
Not too bad. It's been a pretty cool week for gaming, I guess, you know?
Yeah. We're kind of in the throes of the release of the trailer for Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Looking real good.
Real good.
We were kind of texting back and forth during the panel that they did.
Yeah.
And just kind of talking about our excitement. And I was watching that on my phone. I don't know, were you?
No, I put it up on the big screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to see the trailer, on my phone, but went back and later rewatched it, on the TV, so I could get the full kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
It does.
We're actually planning on doing an episode at some point covering Borderlands, probably pretty soon to kind of stay kind of current with that.
Yeah.
So, what have you been playing lately, or watching, or?
Been playing Borderlands. Just started the first one. Got that Game of the Year collection, and pretty good. I think I'm like halfway through the first playthrough now.
Who are you playing as?
Brick.
Okay.
Yeah, which is technically, that's who I played as before, and I wanted to try somebody new, but I thought, I'll go in with what I know first, and then we'll try somebody new next.
Yeah, I've never played through it as another character, always, and I don't even remember who it was that I played through the first time.
Oh.
So, yeah, I've been playing anything else, or kind of been just Borderlands right now.
Yeah, really just Borderlands. I think I'm gonna try to beat Borderlands and 2 and the pre-sequel all again before the new one comes out.
You still got a little of time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I basically I think I mentioned it maybe on some other video recently, I've been playing Infamous still. That's kind of all I've been playing. Really loving that game. I got it for 99 cents, and it's the best 99 cents I think I've ever spent.
Yeah.
It's just a ton of fun. I'm just now getting into like a few upgrades that I hadn't had before, so that's pretty cool, even that far into the game. I don't know how many hours I have racked into it yet, but looking forward to playing the second one, and originally that's kind of what I was going to do, but I've never played going back to Borderlands, I've never played the pre-sequel. So I think that's what I'm going to go with next. Greg got to see me earlier. I tried out a couple games that I just recently got. I played a Earth Defense Force game, which if you saw our recent pickup video, you'll see me show that off. And then Pac-Man World. I tried like the first level basically on each one, just I wanted to make sure the Pac-Man game worked because the disc was a little scratched. But it seems pretty fun. I had never played that first one, so really enjoyed that. What have you been watching lately?
Let's see. I was watching a lot of Letterkenny.
Yeah, we've both been watching that lately. Really good. If
Yeah.
you guys have not seen that, if you're a fan of, I don't want to say that the humor is similar, but something about it feels like Trailer Park Boys to me. And something that Greg and I have talked about before is we like shows where we like the characters. Like, we would hang out with those, the people on the show. And the people on Letterkenny are all just people I would love to know.
Yeah.
Like, just be around there. When I was originally watching Trailer Park Boys, man, I just wanted to live in a trailer park and be around those kind of characters. And I feel the same way about this show. Like, I want to live in Letterkenny, and just know these people. Like, it's so great. And there are, because it's a show that's filmed in Canada, there are jokes sometimes, specifically when they're talking about hockey. That I don't know hockey anyway, but then like the jokes are so fast sometimes. Like I don't know. Like I put a closed caption on, and otherwise sometimes I just miss things.
Yeah.
But like sometimes there's these two characters that play hockey, and sometimes their jokes I just don't get.
Yeah, they do a lot of like rapid fire hockey lingo.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't often get it. Sometimes it's funny to me just about how fast they're making the jokes. That's what's funny to me. But the actual jokes aren't landing on me, and that's not a problem with the writing. It's just not knowing hockey. Yeah. So, what else?
I watched all of the Trailer Park Boys animated.
Yeah. Yeah, we've kind of talked about this.
Wish I hadn't. It's just not good. It's so weird. It's like if Trailer Park Boys was written by like a Nickelodeon writer or something. It's so goofy and like it's just nothing like any other Trailer Park Boys thing at all.
Yeah. I also know that you recently watched, it just recently came out on DVD Blu-ray, you watched Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And what did you think of that?
I love it. I think it's, outside of that, the old animated movie, I think it's the best depiction of Transformers that's been made.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that I didn't get to see it in theaters. I still haven't seen it, but I wanted to see it in the theater, and now I really hate that. Hearing Greg's kind of review, talking about how happy, like, and just smile on his face when he was watching it, kind of made him feel like a kid. Like, I hate that I did not get to see that in the theater.
So much fun, and, like, you really find yourself getting excited every time there's actual Transformers on the screen. You're just, like, on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. We may try to watch that on Sunday, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you still need to watch Solo.
Yeah, that's how I'm so far behind on movies. I don't actually watch a lot of movies anymore because I tend to end up watching them by myself. My wife and I don't exactly have the same taste in films. So, and then also because of work schedule and stuff, a lot of times she works on the weekends now, so we don't have a lot of time to watch movies together. But yeah, I haven't seen it Solo. Like, as far as movies that came out in 2018, I saw maybe 3 movies that came out. I guess it's partially that I've gotten so many video games in the past year that I've just trying to kind of like keep up with those somewhat, and it's so hard to do that because we get games so often anymore that there's always just this huge stack that, it's nearly impossible to get through. But cat wanted out. I was also trying to figure out where to go from there.
Let's see.
While we're talking about games, we can kind of jump into our topic. So we both collect video games, and for mostly the same systems. There are a few that some retro game systems, and Greg doesn't have an Xbox, so he doesn't collect for that, and I occasionally do pick up games for that. One place that we both like to hit is there's a place kind of locally called Super Mega Replay. Yeah. And it's where, in our pickup videos, you'll hear me talk about picking up games for like 99 cents, $2.99. It's a place where we like to go and kind of, hit, like, specifically like PS3 games that we missed, that, were originally, $40, $50. When you can pick them up at this price point, like, it's kind of cool to be able to go back and find these games that are, I don't want to call them hidden gems, but we're getting to try out games that we wouldn't have originally paid that much money for. And especially like I recently picked up Fallout 3. I got it for what, 99 cents?
Yeah.
$2.99.
Something like that.
Like,
yeah.
If it wouldn't have been at that price, I don't know that I would have ever bought it. Like, it's really cool to be able to find these games. They're not new, but they're newer.
Yeah.
That are. Some of these games are, really well reviewed and stuff. So it's been nice to be able to do that. Now, how do you feel about collecting and buying through sites like eBay and stuff?
I've always thought, like, with anything, I would rather just go find it in a store.
Yeah.
But there are times where it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that happens with a lot, whether it's video games or action figures or anything. Like, sometimes there's something you want and you just
can't find it.
Yeah, you can look and look and look and you might never find it. And that's usually what I do, is like, if I really want something, I'll give it a little bit of time looking in stores, and then if I don't find it, then I'll start eBaying and things like that.
Now, how do you feel personally about the prices on eBay? Do you feel they're fair, or is it one of those things where you kind of do have to watch and see?
Yeah, sometimes they're fair.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I do find myself thinking, like, this is only expensive because someone will pay it. But, like,
I agree.
And those sort of things suck with the pricing of anything. Once again, like, this doesn't even necessarily just have to be about video games, but, like, the pricing on things is always dictated by that one guy who's willing to pay more than anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have a game that 99% of people agree, like, they would pay $10 for.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just got one guy that's willing to pay $30, then someone will price it at $30 because they know, oh, there's some guy that'll buy this.
Yeah, that's, I've been collecting VHS for years, and people will just gouge the fuck out of tapes. And I get that some tapes are worth more money, especially, like, I love shot on video films, and a lot of those were independently released. And so, yeah, they're going to be worth a little more because there were never millions of copies made. With some of those, there were only hundreds, made. So I get that those are, more valuable in that world. They may not be valuable to some people, somebody that doesn't know a certain movie. Something like a movie I love is the movie Splatter Farm by the Polonia Brothers. And that movie's worth a little bit of money because there weren't that many copies made. But to somebody that doesn't know that movie, it's not necessarily worth anything, and that's how anything is, it is only worth something to the people that it's worth something to.
Yeah.
Now, I am big on the, like, if I'm buying from eBay, I will look at I will find the item I want and check how much it's sold for, like past listings.
Yeah.
And kind of keep that in mind with what I am willing to spend personally. With any game, I kind of set a certain price point that I want to spend or that I'd like to get it for, and then kind of base my judgment on that. And then I will sometimes, like, if I'm out somewhere and see a game, I will pull up eBay and see if I can find it cheaper on eBay.
Yeah.
Because I'm always going to try to get the cheapest. Why pay more if I don't have to? Now sometimes, like, if someplace like Replay or even like GameStop, if it's a game I want, I will pay a little bit more sometimes if it's complete. Or, like, sometimes, we just today went to kind of like a thrift store, a flea market type place. If a game doesn't have the manual, sometimes I will pay a couple dollars more on eBay, so that way I can have the complete thing instead of, again, that's all dictated by how much it is. Like, there's a game I bought today for $1. didn't have the manual, but for that price, like, I hate to pass it up and not get it. So, now, something else that we have been kind of getting into, we haven't bought much, but we do watch it a lot, is on Instagram, people have claim sales.
Yeah.
I find that to be really cool. It just seems like every time we have money, there aren't any good claim sales.
Yeah.
And then when we're broke, that's when, oh man, freaking, you know, get a Zelda for 64 in the box for $25. Like, that's when it always hits.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, the claim sales are really cool, and a lot of the times the people that do them are, I guess I'll say, generous. Like, they'll cut pretty good deals.
Yeah.
And you really just have to look out, though, 'cause sometimes you'll find really good deals, and then sometimes it will basically just be eBay prices.
Yeah. I do feel like there is a really good community there of people that are trying not to fuck you.
Yeah.
Because they are collectors as well, and they're trying to give you a deal. They are. They're trying to help out other collectors at a price that they're willing to pay that isn't ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think that's really great. Again, and the thing is, like, with that, if you're not familiar with it, the way it works, they will post a picture on Instagram and tell you the price, and the first person to comment claim gets, that's staking their claim on that game. And then most of the time people will accept backup claims, so that way in case that doesn't go through.
Yeah.
But that's how that works. And so you also have to be kind of fast.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys have tons of followers. So, and a lot of times they will announce that they're doing a claim sale ahead of time. So people will be waiting for, 7 o'clock on Friday. Yeah. So you've got several people kind of waiting for this to happen. So it is a really cool, and I have bought some things through claim sales. And got, some really great stuff at very reasonable prices. There's even a few people that were there. There's one guy that I haven't seen him do it in a while. He used to do these drunk claim sales.
Oh, yeah.
Where he would get drunk and sell things extremely cheap.
Oh, yeah, like $1 for, a game that should be like $15, $20.
Yeah. Sometimes he would sell, like a complete, say like A Link to the Past for like $10 complete, like he would do these, and it was awesome. And like since we started following the claim sales, it seems like he's just stopped doing that.
Yeah.
And like we just missed out on that window, I guess, and that kind of sucks. Now, how do you feel about? I don't do it that much anymore, but occasionally I will still buy games from Amazon. Do you really buy much from Amazon, or have you, or?
Honestly, the only games I've ever bought from Amazon were my Switch and Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
And then before that was like, I don't know, 8 years ago or something, I bought Glover. And I think that's all the video games I've ever bought on Amazon.
I've bought some, and even not that long ago, because I got that Final Fantasy collection, like brand new for PS1, like, still sealed for like $6 or $8. So like sometimes you can find some really cool things on there, because I got that like Mega Man collection like sometime last year.
Yeah.
Like still sealed for like $10.
Yeah, so. I never know how to find those kind of things, like without just searching every single individual game.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is, or put a certain price point that you're willing to hit, and just look to that. Especially like if you have Amazon Prime, click, search just Amazon Prime, and then it will give you a listing of the prices. So I occasionally will do that. The thing that we had actually just recently talked about was, because of Amazon having different sellers, we wish that people selling used copies of games would post pictures of those games, so we knew what we were getting, or what state the cartridge or the disc or whatever. We don't want to get a game and then it be covered in coffee sticky or...
Yeah, I don't want to pay, eBay price on Amazon for a game and then you never saw it, so the label's half ripped off.
Yeah. And with collecting, something we've thought about doing before, and we're always kind of skeptical about, and now we're finding a little more about it, is GameStop on their website sells retro games, and we were never sure what condition or whatever. It doesn't show or tell if it comes, even like a PS2 game. It doesn't say if it's in the case, if it has the manual, or if it's just in its sleeve. But the thing that we have found out that's really nice is that you have, I think it's 7 days, and you can take that game back to your local GameStop and get a refund. So even if it's not up to what you expected, at least you do have that. So it's a little more tempting, and they do have, occasionally, we've seen some pretty good sales.
Yeah.
Seems like at least once a month or something on their website, they have sales on the retro games. So it's definitely a viable option for, specific things. Especially if you're in, cartridge games, where you're probably not going to get the box anyways.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little more iffy on, disc-based games. Like, say you want to get a GameCube game. Well, you don't know. You may just get in that generic, stupid fucking...
Yeah.
the anime... do they still do that? I haven't even bought a used game.
I don't
They used to always have that, weird anime style...
Yeah.
I don't know what was with that. I don't know if it's some weird... Do they have their own anime we just don't know about? Characters?
Yeah, I love GameStop anime.
I love the hentai.
GameStop waifu.
Ooh, it's pretty kawaii, if you ask me.
Yeah, I've always said, one thing I will say is GameStop is super kawaii.
Oh, kawaii?
Yeah, kawaii.
Kawaii?
Yeah, kawaii.
Oh, I'm going to Kauai.
Yeah, I know, it's my favorite island.
Is it?
Yeah, islands in the stream.
Why?
I don't
know. Oh my gosh. Well, so with collecting, something you brought up just recently, with certain games, like one that we've used as an example is like the Crash collection. Now, how do you feel? What are your exact thoughts on, say, games like that? That's especially if it's like a set of 3 games. Would you rather have a re-release on like the PS4, where it's like an HD remastered, or would you rather collect the original ones for the PS1?
Part of that, I think, depends on like my nostalgia with the game.
Yeah.
For an example, like with Crash,
you're not really...
I have zero nostalgia for Crash.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my thing. I had a N64. So I don't care as much to have the original versions of that.
Yeah.
It's the sort of thing that, like, if I had the originals, I probably wouldn't ever buy the remaster.
Yeah.
But I would only ever buy the originals if they were like, $1 a piece or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to spend real money on it because I don't really care about it.
Yeah. The thing that we talked about, and I told Greg that my kind of thought on it is, one, it depends on the game/games, but then, like, it is kind of nice with collecting, using as Crash again, you have one case with the PS4 with the games versus 3 CD jewel cases for the 3 games. So with these things, you are saving some space.
Yeah.
Versus having, especially like if it's like a re-release of a cart-based game, like if you're.
Yeah.
There aren't too many, like, I guess like the Mega Man collection. I have that on one disc.
Yeah.
Whereas you'd have a stack of Mega Man games. You're saving space that way, and as a collector, we only have so much room.
Yeah.
Unless you have a decent amount of money, you know, we can have a huge basement just lined with shelves, but...
Well, there's also something to be said about just the convenience of, like, it's convenient because it's all in one disc.
Yeah.
It's convenient because that's one less console that you like, oh, I want to play Crash, now I gotta get up and switch out.
Yeah.
And then it's also, if you're playing on a modern system, you've got the wireless control.
Yeah.
Versus play on PS1 or whatever, and you might have to, I mean, I guess if you have PS3, you could do it that way, wireless, but...
Yeah. Which they're starting to make more kind of retro wireless controllers for systems, but if you don't have those...
Yeah, that's just something extra to have to buy, and...
Yeah, where, like, a Super Nintendo cord isn't that long. I think they make, like, extenders for them and stuff like that. Like, I have some extenders for my GameCube to make the cords stretch further.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that is a hassle.
Yeah.
And, also, without... besides getting the system out, switching the cartridges out. If you want to jump from game to game...
Yeah. Or especially if it is, like, one of those Mega Man collections with 10 games or however much, that's a lot of games to have to get up and, swap out versus just selecting.
Now, kind of as we're wrapping up, how do you see something we have noticed and we've talked about, that it seems like you're able to get some games, specifically like Complete in Box, cheaper than what you could even 6 months ago.
Yeah.
We've seen that on, not just, Instagram, but like on eBay even, where you're finding like, something we both kind of talked about kind of wanting is like Shadows of the Empire. I know that's a game we kind of go back to on a lot of episodes and stuff, but like you can find that like Complete in Box now for, $15, $16.
Yeah.
Now, where do you think collecting is going to go? Do you think the price is going to continue to go down? Do you think it's going to level out, go back up, or?
I think it's dropped about as much as it's going to drop for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go much lower, especially for like Complete in Box things. I think they're about as low as they're ever going to get, because whether the interest is there or not, they are so limited. There aren't millions of box copies of these games out there.
No.
So there is sort of a base level of like, it can't get much cheaper than this.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, there are still games that the box copies are hundreds of dollars. And
oh yeah.
Insanity. So yeah, I could see it maybe getting a little cheaper on loose games.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
But I think for like Complete in Box stuff, it's probably about as low as it's going to get.
Yeah, you might see them drop another couple dollars here and there. But yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think it's kind of leveling out, and I could see them in the reverse. I might see them go back up a few more dollars at some point.
Yeah, something might happen that.
Well, something we've talked about is, the rumor going around is that possibly, and man, it would be amazing, the PS5 being backwards compatible with every...
Yeah, PS1 through 4.
Yeah, and that could make the price of PlayStation games go up, because people that didn't buy them before might, I can play them now.
Yeah, I think if that's announced, you better get your PlayStation games while you can.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we've talked about recently and shown off like PlayStation 3 games and PlayStation 2 games. One, they are cheap right now, but two, we kind of want to have them so that way, if they do go up, we're not, breaking the bank to get these games. So we're just kind of thinking about the future as well, and we're not collectors for the sake of like, oh, this is gonna be worth fucking $50.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's just not the type of collectors we are. We collect games because we want to play them. Now, we may not ever have time to play them. That is a problem we run into a lot. It's not having a lot of actual free time to play games.
I definitely have a lot of video games that I have never put in the system.
Oh, absolutely. I have games that are sealed still, and it's not because I'm keeping them sealed, again, because they're worth anything. It's just because I haven't had the goddamn time to get to them. So, well, before we get out of here, we do want to mention, we mentioned it in our pickup video. If you haven't seen that yet, check that out. We are going to be doing a giveaway soon. We've got some things together. Again, check out that pickup video because we do show off a couple things that I just recently got to throw in there. But we also wanted to announce our next full episode. This is where you're going to hear it first. Our next full episode of the actual YouTube show is going to be about cartoons. Specifically cartoons that we grew up with. Originally we were going to do one kind of encompassing cartoons as a whole, but when we started getting into things like The Simpsons and South Park and Bob's Burgers and Aqua Teens, we decided that, maybe we should do a separate episode at some point about more adult shows. That just feels like we could fill a whole episode on that easily.
Oh, yeah.
Because we could do a whole episode, and maybe we should at some point, just on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
I think that, because, even the anime and stuff that, that's on there. So,
yeah.
But, that's kind of what we have coming up. Anything else that you want to mention?
I guess, speaking of that episode and an possible Adult Swim episode, you guys are always welcome to, leave us comments on videos of episodes you'd kind of like us to do, and, if it's something we think we can say anything interesting about, then, we're willing to do that.
Yeah, we're going to do some shorter episodes, too, like kind of mini episodes that aren't part of the main show, so we could always cover them in a 5 to 10 minute video, or even 15 if we have a lot to say, but they just won't be part of the actual we like what we like series.
Yeah.
They're just going to be kind of one-off things, just about whatever we want to talk about, and they may even be kind of like the podcast even sometimes, where we just kind of want to ramble about something for a little bit, or we want to get to the point where we're kind of like we're trying with this video specifically, or this podcast, where we're hitting more current things.
Yeah.
We want to get to that point. But
we need just some sort of like, comment, subscribe button.
Well, we have that.
Oh, yeah. Well, so then,
I guess that wraps it up for today, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess that's all we have for today, you guys. It's been a fun episode. The podcasts are going to be these kind of rambly things. We hope you like that, If not, well, too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad for you. We're going to do them.
Get out.
We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the podcast. If you like the show, make sure to spread the word, check us out on social media, and give us a review on iTunes.
If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure to check us out on YouTube for more content similar to what you just heard.
And until next time, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Greg.
And this has been We Like What We Like, the podcast.